Hi, I'm Gina Towns-Darby, CEO of Jam Lamb Records, a subsidiary of Sony Music, singer, songwriter, and host of ProFiles. ProFiles is a show where we profile industry executives and their success with SAP.
Now, as an executive, I think people need to really understand what their organizational makeup is when they attack something like SAP. So a lot of executives will look at this just like an IT implementation. They won't include the business, they won't include the people that are actually going to be needed to design the system. And I'll see this and I'll say, this guy's a dead man walking. There's no way he survives the end of this implementation. A lot of failures, a lot of successes, and there is kind of a secret sauce at the end of the day on how to do SAP successfully.
Hi, this is Gina Darby with ProFiles, where we interview executives on their experiences with SAP. Today we're with Matt Stokes. First, Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an IT executive. I've been in the SAP space for close to 20 years now. I've worked as both a consultant and in industry, worked for companies like Nike, Home Depot, Newell Rubbermaid. As an executive at those places, I've been around the SAP space for a long time and been involved with literally hundreds of implementations of SAP.
So tell me about your time at Nike.
Nike was a great experience, it really was. I was there for about 5 years. I was hired on to build their Center of Excellence in SAP, which I did, and we got that rolling and moving. And then I took over the program management responsibilities for the European implementation, which was a large-scale rollout of SAP. And then I kind of made a transition. I transitioned away from the functional supply chain consultant, program manager, and I went more into of a technology architect, application architect. And I took on a brand new project that Nike was doing to implement SAP's new NetWeaver framework, which was based on service-oriented architecture. And we built an application, what we call a composite application, for all the factories that do the apparel, the equipment, and the footwear manufacturing for Nike to be able to log on through the internet and share information back and forth with Nike. So it opened up the black box of supply chain that existed prior to that. Great project, a lot of fun, made a lot of key contacts very high up in SAP, and the project actually won a Maxim Award up at Nike, which was a very high honor, especially for IT in that space.
Wow, that Maxim Award, that's a company honor. Could you talk about that a little bit more?
So at Nike, there were 11 Maxims that were out there. These are the pillars that the company was founded on, kind of the value system. What Nike did every year is they gave out Maxim Awards to people that worked for the company that excelled in a certain area, whether it was business or technology or transformation management. And the global PO project that I was a chief architect on and program manager on was so successful, deemed so successful, that it actually won one of those awards. It was one of the very few IT information technology-based products that actually won a Maxim Award over the 5-year period that I was there. So it was a great honor, and I was very happy, and I had a great team to help me out.
So you have been at the forefront of forward-thinking companies. Can you tell us a little bit about your time at Home Depot?
Home Depot, I was hired in as the Global SAP Technology Director. It was a really good position, large organization, huge company, $90 billion company, and they were undertaking a multi-million dollar, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, SAP transformation for the company. And then what they did is they hired in a certain amount of people with a lot of SAP experience to help build their organization up kind of in the people and the process and the technology area. I was hired in over the technology space. So what I did is I put together 6 teams focused in business intelligence, application development, application integration, enterprise architecture and infrastructure, SAP portals, web and mobile technologies, and then a change management component, kind of a methodology and tools team that was in charge of making sure all the standards that all the different projects we're using were consistent. We had automated testing tools that were consistent and things like that. Overall, the organization was well over 100 people with probably another 100 consultants over there. So big project, but it was a great challenge. So I think the biggest accomplishment at Home Depot was to be able to put the Canadian stores up live on SAP in a reasonable amount of time. We did that as a pilot in advance of the United States implementation. There was about 200 stores in Canada. There was over 2,000 in the United States. We went live in March with our first 2 stores. We put in the SAP retail solution and a lot of new technologies by SAP, specifically in the web and portal space and business intelligence. That was a big piece of the pie out there that we put in. And I think the best thing about that we're hearing right now is those stores are really outperforming a lot of other stores in the company, and definitely outperforming where they were prior to SAP. So it's a testament that how good of a job the team did and how successful SAP can be at a company, even a large retailer, $90 billion retailer like Home Depot.
So your most recent experience was with Newell Rubbermaid. Let's talk about that.
So at Newell Rubbermaid, I was hired in as the Vice President of Global Information Technology. And I was actually part of what we call the PMO, or the Program Management Office. And really the mission for that group was to implement SAP successfully across the entire globe for the entire company in a specified period of time. And so it was kind of a similar role that I had at Home Depot, where I built teams in the technology space that were kind of similar in nature. And then what we did is we started to put together a shared services organization. So as we had 1, 2, 3 concurrent projects that were going on, the people on these teams would work on all these projects, and so we were able to benefit from economies of scale. And Newell had extremely successful go-lives, and SAP even recognized how successful they were. And a lot of other companies did too, because they always called us for, how do you guys do it? How are you so successful in doing it?
So Matt, tell me some of the tools that you've leveraged to be so successful.
A great tool that I've seen out there lately is SAP EcoHub, which basically has ProFiles companies and their products put together in a very knowledgeable and easy to understand message, where then I followed up directly with the company, and we bought the product. We were successful with our upgrade, extremely successful. Nobody even knew that we upgraded, which is exactly what you want when you do one. And when we did the analysis on what we paid for the tool and how we did it in our new timeline, our adjusted timeline versus our original timeline, we saved 7 figures at the end of the day. So something like EcoHub, with just going and doing some basic investigation, saved us that kind of money. So it's such a valuable tool.